I'm Reed Becker with the Cape Cod Baseball League, and joining me today is former Hyannis Harbor Hawk and just finished his junior season at Michigan State with the Spartans is Mitch Jebb. First, Mitch, thanks for joining us today, but I want to start off with just from your time in Cape Cod, what was the biggest thing that you learned from there?
Going out in Cape Cod, I had a really good experience. Mostly just the people around me. You're around really great players and communicating with others was great. Everyone has a little different, way of how they hit, how they feel, how they throw, how they go about their business. And, just kind of talking the game with all those guys really opened some new things for me that I tried out. And, it's all just, like a growth mindset type deal coming from those guys. So I thought it was really good.
Was there one specific person or piece of advice that you got along the way up there that you were able to implement into your game?
Yeah, no, actually, it's honestly more of, you talk the game with some guys, but also just watching how people play, how their actions are feeling like, when I was at Katuitt, I watched Ryan Ritter field ground balls, and I mean he was the smoothest guy I've ever seen field ground balls, at my age. And just learning from how he moves and how he kind of attacks the baseball, is kind of what I try to do this year. And who knows if I got better at it, but you pick up stuff, just watching players, like Riku Nishida, just watching him slap the ball. Me and him are kind of similar in that area, and just seeing what he does and what he thinks was beneficial to me also.
What would you say as well for the Cape Cod League was your favorite memory, either favorite memory or game that just comes to mind?
Yeah, my favorite memories were probably those bus rides, everywhere we went. We got 35 guys or however many it was packed on the school bus, and traveling around the Cape, playing bus games and stuff. And it's like when you're in those moments, yeah, it kind of sucks because it's hot and you're sitting on this bus, but you look back on it, I had a great time, traveling around with the team and making those memories. So
Well, take me inside, take the audience inside to what behind the scenes of what those bus rides looked like. What was the
yeah,
activity?
no, so there we I didn't participate in the games on the way to the game, but after the game, after a good win, you play a game called Mafia, and
Mhm.
there's always a narrator and all that. And our team, our bus got a little rowdy. It was pretty competitive, and it made it a lot of fun. Just bonding with those guys.
What was the craziest story on the bus that they came up with Mafia?
I don't know. I know Finch and I know Strick. They're both really good at telling a good lie. So I wasn't the best at it, so they probably got me on it. So
Uh, what influence, if at all, did Hyannis manager Eric Beatty have on you?
yeah, he was a great guy, great coach. I couldn't ask for a better situation over in Hyannis. They kind of just brought me in, and it gave me the opportunity to play, and I respect that from them. And with Coach Beatty, I love that guy. Like I said, gave me the opportunity, and just talking the game with him. He's a very smart guy, and we could bounce ideas off each other. And from there, it was just we were both growing with the game of baseball. So I have a really good connection and still talk to him to this day. So
Going back to your bus rides in Cape Cod, how similar or different is that day in, day out travel at the college level?
yeah, it's actually honestly at Michigan State, it's kind of the same. We're always messing around on the bus, having a good time. But obviously with the Cape Cod, the bus rides are way shorter than anywhere you're traveling in the Big Ten. So I would say they're both similar besides the length of the ride. So
What let me go back to the Cape Cod for a minute as well. Is there one specific game that you remember the most uh, from last summer?
no, I mean they all feel the same. They all feel like a blur. I feel like anytime we played Katuitt, that was always a great series, a great game. I couldn't tell you a specific one. They all feel the same, but I felt like every time we played Katuitt, the whole team played extremely hard, and it was a battle for 9 innings. So
What about the playoff series?
Yeah, no, that was great too. Those first 3 games when we played Katuitt, you play them all year, and then at the end you finally get a shot, to put them away. And I thought it was really good that we came together and got that done. So
Now, I also am wondering, you don't have to answer this if you don't want, but if you look at the stats from last season in Cape Cod, your stats, you finished pretty much right behind uh, the MVP, Matt Shaw,
mm.
if you look at the stats overall. When you see that, does it come to mind like, oh, I was so close with, people were talking about MVP wise last year in Cape. What do you see when you, or think of when you see those numbers?
Yeah, I mean, I honestly I didn't really care. I mean, I was just playing baseball and just having a good time. And Matt Shaw had a great year. And I'm happy for him. He's one of my really good buddies. It was fun, competing at that level with him. Back and forth. It kind of felt like, and he ended up on top. He did a great job, and I all I can do is do my best, and try to be consistent. So, you know, I thought he had a great year, and even this year in Big Ten play, he had a great year. So, props to him.
The transition with the bats, going to the wooden in Cape Cod, and then after Cape Cod, you go back to the aluminum.
Hmm.
I'm wondering, how big of a transition was it for you at the Cape Cod level going to wooden and then going back now for this past season with Michigan State with the aluminum?
Yeah, no, I'm a big fan of wood. Going back to MSU, I felt like every ball I hit, especially early in the season, was just backspin right to the outfielders, and I was like, dang, with that wood, it would have just dropped right in. But I'm not, I'm a big, put it on the barrel type guy, and I feel like a lot of my hits come off the barrel. So, when I get jammed up, it's usually not a hit anyway. So, with the wood, I was pretty comfortable with that.
What was life off the field like for Mitch Jebb in Cape Cod?
Yeah, it was actually probably pretty, what people would consider pretty boring. Most of my day was towards baseball. And anytime I kind of had a second, to relax, I mean, I took it. And honestly, just relax at the house with my host family. It was great. I had a great setup, and like I said, most of my time that I had off the field, it was just relaxing and just enjoying where I was at. That's really all I did. So I never. I mean, I visited up to Chatham. I think one time, but I mean, other than that, I was all baseball and getting ready for the next day. So
Do you have a favorite memory with your host family?
no, I mean, I just felt like it was a pretty, standard summer. They gave me a great setup, like I said. I'm really thankful for that. And, they were with me when I was at Katuitt, and they stuck with me when I went to Hyannis. So I was really, really thankful for them, for that.
And lastly, what's next for Mitch Jebb?
I don't know. We'll see. Obviously, my goal is to play professional baseball, and it's all out of my handle now. So just kind of gonna see what happens. So
Well, Mitch, we thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. That's former Hyannis Harbor Hawk Mitch Jebb, and I'm Reed Becker with the Cape Cod Baseball League, and stay tuned for more down the line.